South and the West, and today we're bringing you two people who have thoroughly explored the North and the East. And these are people who are exploring with a good heart. They're doing good in the communities as they go. We'll talk a little bit more about them with our guests in just a second.
So we hope you took notes yesterday. If not, get your notepads out because we're going to be discussing lots of travel destination, lots of tricks, lots of hidden gems as well. Also coming up on the program, we knew that meditation is great for you, but did you know it can actually reverse your brain age? Well, that's what the new study by Harvard actually says, and we'll speak to the professor who's behind this to give you yet another reason to sit down and find your center. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Let's get started. Why tourism in North India hits different Northeast escapes that no one is talking about. Travel that doesn't come with room service, but local stories, remote landscape and unseen India. India's boldest escape, the trails, the passes and the purpose behind some of the people bringing those stories to you.
And after that, we take a look at a form of yoga and in particular of meditation that is changing lives. We bring you a story straight from a new study that's just been done in collaboration with Harvard. This is a study that shows that a particular kind of meditation, and we'll talk about exactly what, can quiet the mind and in that process actually rewind the age of your brain, making you almost 6.5 years younger, or appear 6.5 years younger in tests.
Also on the program today, the Volkswagen Tiguan R line. A closer look at that, the design, the space and the tech, and as always, an overdrive verdict.
Since yesterday, we're taking a pause from the rush of foreign holidays and getting our passports stamped and turning our lens back to India. Yesterday, we took you through the lush monsoon trails of the south and the west of India. We took you to offbeat parts of Goa. We took you to slow travel in Kochi, the scented hills of Chikmagalur. And the message was a simple one. You don't need to leave the country to find beauty, peace, or a story worth sharing.
So today is part 2 of that conversation, of that journey as well, and we are heading north. If South and West India offer comfort, cuisine and curated calm, then North and the Northeast particularly ask something more of you. They challenge you and offer something no luxury resort can ever bring in, which is perspective. Because traveling through this part of the country isn't just about where you go, but how you reach there as well.
On foot through forest trails or on two wheels across flooded roads and mountain passes. These are some of the visuals and the regions we're going to be talking about today. The forests of Arunachal Pradesh, just take a look at that, thick and lush. Or the ridges of Himachal Pradesh. Off-grid village trails that sneak their way, as you can see, up mountain paths. Or some of the world's highest roads. It's right here that you'll see India strip away the filters and give you something real.
And while we've given you a teaser, a glimpse of what those unseen, untraveled roads and unseen mountains really look like, joining us today this morning are two travelers who don't just explore these places, but they also immerse in them. So we thought we'll bring them on the program today. First up, we've got Suman Sukumar. He is the founder of Nowhere Travel Co. His work is rooted in storytelling that puts communities first. And she also actually, collaborates with NGOs, researchers and local operators to craft experiences and go beyond sightseeing, highlighting culture, conservation and human connection. Good morning, Suman. So glad to have you on the program today. Where are you, by the way? I see some really picturesque which is not plasma unlike ours. This is a real background. So where are you this morning?
Good morning, and Jule from Ladakh. Excited to be here on the Breakfast Club with all of you. Thank you for having me. And I'm in Ladakh and we have the beautiful Ladakh range right behind me.
Wonderful.
lovely.
Yeah, it really looks beautiful. Suman, can you just break down for our audiences what it is that Nowhere Travel does? Because we've given them a sort of brief that you work with local communities to highlight what they have to offer, so that when people are coming in from for Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, they can explore the best of those communities. But how do you actually do that? What are examples of the kind of trips you do? Just give us that first.
Right. I think to start with, our core model is based on the ethos of sustainable and responsible travel. Our philosophy is built on three pillars: immersion, connection, and community. And using these ideological pillars, we try and curate transformative journeys. I'd like to believe that travel is not about ticking off sites from a checklist, but it's about being present in a place, understanding its rhythm, and connecting with its people and its environment. This philosophy itself, was born, I would say, like out of some sort of frustration with mainstream tourism. I found a genuine, or rather, I found a lack of genuineness and resources within the travel spectrum. And I simply started by spending time in places that resonated with me. I love the mountains, and I've been lucky enough to travel and spend time in the Himalayas for over 12 years now. But more than that, I think the idea comes from listening to the elders of the land, observing daily life, and building real non-transactional relationships. And I think this is where the community-informed aspect comes in. And I don't believe that one tour fits all. It's like a glove, right? It doesn't fit all. So our itineraries are not preconceived, right? And our journeys are non-scripted, and the experience is actually dictated by the environment, but is also a function of the involvement and participation of our guests and their energy.
Sure.
How we also do this is by mobilizing the community. It could be local storytellers, artisans, homestay owners, local guides, conservationists, NGOs, self-help groups, and we play a role in bringing all of them together, and we use this as a bridge to craft our experiences.
Quite lovely. So when you're right that there has been a sort of frustration in travelers to say that we've just seem to be copycatting just some stuff that we see on Instagram, or perhaps an itinerary which has been followed by others. But are you seeing a genuine shift in how people are traveling now? Because some of the stuff that you said, people might say, listen, this is just for backpackers. I can't imagine going like this with a family, with, say, older people or kids as well. So would you say there is a genuine shift over the years with more people sort of embracing this form of travel?
Yep, definitely. I think we've lost connection with nature and community in our cities. There's a complete disconnection, and also there's a heightened awareness amongst, and we work particularly with an Indian audience, and I feel even amongst Indians, a lot of them are well traveled, have been around the block to the Europe and Turkeys and Australias and all of that, and people are beginning to realize the diversity within India itself, not just culturally, but environmentally as well, right? In terms of different habitats, different, languages every 100 kilometers, the food you eat, and the wildlife that you get to spot. So I think now, of course, with the internet, Instagram is both a bane and a boon, right? The bane being places are getting, and tourism is getting sort of commoditized at a very, very high level. But there are also very influential and interesting travel operators coming up with a perspective that is unique.
Sure, but Suman, I meant more on the lines of, is it just for the young at heart, this form of travel? or does it embrace everybody across, say, age groups?
Yes, it does. It definitely does. Traveling to far out places doesn't mean you have to compromise on certain levels of comforts, right? And what is luxury actually, right? The definition of luxury can be put together in many, many different ways. But I think true happiness is an experience rooted in simplicity, and that's what travel and tourism as a whole can showcase. And offbeat travel is very welcoming of kids as young as 6 to folks as young as 65 and 70. So we have guests across the spectrum.
That's good to know. Yeah.
So, Suman, can we ask you next to tell us just a little bit about what your own hidden gems have come to be? So what I mean when I say that is you're someone who's now, say, familiar with entire regions across the country, but where are the places that you are particularly fond of? I know we were just, to this point, we were just seeing, some of your videos, and as you said, there are older people. So like in, for example, the Binsar Trail or Sweet Valley Crossing, which is just gorgeous meadows, there were videos with older people there too. So people in their 60s just hiking along. So it's clear that people are doing it. But what are your sort of few favorite places you would say everyone should give a visit to?
I think I'm going to answer this very diplomatically, because I wouldn't pick one place or two places as a hidden gem. It is, every place can be discovered very differently by you, right? And within every region, there are gems waiting to be discovered. And this is true even for places that are suffering from mass tourism, say like I don't know, a Mussoorie or a Manali. All you need to do is just park your car and take a little walk, go down the back alleys, make some friends, have some conversations, smile, and you'll discover hidden gems. Because true experiences are not scripted, right? They're a function of your energy, your personality, and how much you're willing to participate, right? When true, genuine, hidden experiences are not forced, right? It just happens. And that is a function of you and how willing and open you are. I hope that answers your question.
I like that you didn't give us any concrete places though, in that diplomatic style. You stayed away from naming exact spots.
Yeah, I'm very partial to the Himalaya, very partial. I've been, like I said, very, very lucky to have had the opportunity to, spend time here for over 12 years and have so many friends and people I can call family. So I think any place in the Himalaya is a hidden gem. Of course, the roads take you to particular locations, but you take the little trails left or right, and the hidden gems are just right in front of you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Suman, for that. For more details, you have to contact him. He's not giving us any truth bombs over here, at least. But thanks so much, Suman. Lovely to see you and lovely to have you join us from Ladakh and give us a peek into the mountains, even while we sit here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And
could we just see the view,
the
if that's all right, Suman, before we let you go? Is it possible to just... All right. Thank you for leaning out of our frame for a second. That is just the beautiful hills of Ladakh. Thank you, Suman. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, folks. Have a good day and
Thank
see you.
you. All right, let's move on from that now to something slightly different, but keeping that visual of the gorgeous open mountains in mind. Let's take you to our next guest, someone who is also very, very familiar with rolling mountains. We have one with us, Chao Sureng. He's a solo biker, a dog dad, and someone whose adventures are anything but ordinary. Chao is hi Chao, and good morning to Bella. I believe
Hello,
Bella,
good morning.
that's Bella, just for our audiences. Chao, let's just tell our audiences a little bit about you before we come to you. You have been riding up the entire Northeast region. You've trekked to the Everest Base Camp route in just 5 days. We thought for this next part, we wanted to bring you someone who has made their life traveling and especially traveling for good. So Chao, you support strays, you feed them when you can, you support village schools, and you do travel, it feels like, with a sense of really like a good Samaritan. So we're very, we're in awe of you, really. But tell us a little bit about your story, how you started traveling on your bike and how you met Bella.
First of all, I have to, let her go. Otherwise, she would trouble. Can I do that?
Please, go ahead.
Only Bella decides where to go, right?
We don't tell her what to do,
All right. So I am Chao Sureng Rajpur. I come from Dibrugarh, Assam. It's a small tea garden city in Assam. And I started traveling when I was in, from 2011. I have started traveling. But from 2022, I have started traveling with Bella. I have adopted her from Uttarakhand. And since then, I started realizing why one should, actually do something for the strays and anyone, be it any animal or basically strays. So, जैसे मैं बेला के साथ ट्रैवल करना शुरू किया, मैंने जितने भी राइड्स पे मैं गया वहां पे मैंने आई स्टार्टेड द कॉज ट्रिप बेसिकली आई स्टार्टेड फीडिंग द स्ट्रे डॉग्स आई स्टार्टेड हेल्पिंग जिसको भी जो नीड्स होता है जैसे आई एम नॉट सोलो आई मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आई राइड सोलो बट एट द सेम टाइम आई हैव अ मोटरसाइकिल क्लब फ्रॉम नॉर्थ ईस्ट विच इज वन नॉर्थ ईस्ट मोटरसाइकिल क्लब एंड मेरे साथ बहुत सारे मेरे पीछे होते हैं जो मेरे साथ हर जगह काम पे मतलब आता है मतलब whenever we go to some school to do charity work तो मेरे पूरा टीम होता है अगर आपने मैंने जो वीडियोस दिए हैं आप लोगों ने देखे हैं तो so it's like that I traveling I'm a designer from National Institute of Fashion Technology I'm an alumni of NIFT but वहाँ से जो ग्राइंड मैं कर रहा था अपने लाइफ में it was not fruitful for me मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा so I found perspective, I found life in traveling and that was introduced to me by a friend जो उनके साथ में मैं business भी करता था traveling mostly garments related but उससे मैं निकल के आने के बाद I fully started traveling from 2011 से मैं travel कर रहा था but 29 almost lockdown के बाद मैं fully travel करने लगा and started creating content for all the platforms जहाँ पे like YouTube, Instagram and Facebook.
Sure. Chao, lovely to see you travel with Bella. Lovely to see you have found your calling. But here on the program today, we are really trying to identify some of the hidden gems for our audiences, right? In the Northeast and other places. Right. From all the experience that you have gathered, do you have some tips for us? Some not to miss places if one is going to the Northeast?
The Northeast, when you talk about Northeast, it has 8 states. Like, it's a huge place. Like, or if you need to travel to all the different parts of Northeast, तो आपको लगभग 1 साल के आसपास लग जाएगा अगर आप अच्छी तरह ट्रैवल करना चाहो. So it's मैं स्पेशली एक जगह का like someone said like मैं एक जगह का नाम तो नहीं बोलूंगा but yes there are certain places of
oh no
मेरे favorite
come on Chao give us your favorites.
No my favorites are there but definitely मैं असम का हूँ तो मेरा जो मैं जहाँ पे पैदा हुआ था डिब्रूगढ़ it's a small tea garden city but my parents are from Sivsagar, Soraido so these are culturally heritage or the tribal heritage place है जहाँ पे आप लोग रिच जो हिस्ट्री है असम का वहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा व्हेन यू विजिट द हेरिटेज प्लेस एंड अरुणाचल के बारे में असम में देयर आर 7 नेशनल पार्क्स जो आज के टाइम पे ऐसा नहीं है कि लोग नहीं जाते देयर आर लॉट मेनी प्लेसेस इन असम जो बहुत लोग जाते हैं एवरी ईयर लास्ट ईयर ही आई थिंक फुटफॉल काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क में अराउंड सम लैक्स में हुआ था आई डोंट रिमेम्बर द एग्जैक्ट काउंट. And if I come to Arunachal is my favorite place, by the way, state. वहाँ पे मैंने डोंग वैली पे गया था. डोंग वैली is the first sunrise village I had rode with Bella and couple of my friends, and हम लोग मानसून पे राइड किया था, and it was a very difficult task.
That must be tricky.
Something is there. Just a moment. I'm not. Yeah. So जब मैं वहाँ पे पहुँचा था, it was very difficult because monsoon में I'm sure आप लोगों को idea होगा कि mountains में कैसा होता है. We reached there. Unfortunately, we could not view the first sunrise because it was monsoon, but we enjoyed thoroughly there. And one more place in Arunachal is Vijayanagar, because Vijayanagar पहुँचने के लिए you have to ride or you have to go on a 4x4 vehicle in via a national park, that's Namdapha National Park, और वहाँ पे आज भी there is no road to reach there. पहले आज से 2 साल पहले लोग वहाँ पे पहुँचते थे by one has to hike like for 7 to 12 days to reach there and come back. So विजयनगर एक ऐसा जगह है, तो हम लोग वहाँ पे पहुँच के हमने चैरिटी वॉक किया था. एंड सिक्किम में आई थिंक माय फेवरेट प्लेस वुड बी योक्सम. योक्सम में इसलिए बिकॉज वहाँ पे मेरा एक छोटा सा एक्सीडेंट हुआ था, एंड एक्सीडेंट के वजह से द पीपल आई मेट देयर, आई वाज देयर, द होम स्टे ओनर जो थे वहाँ पे, एंड ही रियली हेल्प्ड मी रिकवरिंग माय दैट फेस. वहाँ पे था तो इट वाज माय प्लान वाज टू बी देयर फॉर जस्ट 2 to 3 days, बट वहाँ पे पहुँच के जो होम स्टे ओनर ने मुझे हेल्प किया, वहाँ के लोकल्स ने जो मुझे हेल्प किया, जो मोटरसाइकिलिंग क्लब के मेंबर्स थे, उन्होंने मुझे हॉस्पिटल पे ले जाके जो केयर लिया, तो इसीलिए दैट प्लेस इज वेरी इज क्लोज टू माय हार्ट. एंड एंड दैट प्लेस इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द लास्ट पॉइंट जहाँ से आप अपना गाड़ी लेके जा सकते हो, व्हीकल लेके जा सकते हो. वहाँ से कंचनजंगा जो पीक है, समिट है, वहां से बेसिकली वहां से तो नहीं जा सकते, बट दैट हैज गोइचिला पास एंड ऑल दैट, तो वहां से आप ट्रेवल कर सकते हो. एंड मेघालय के बारे में अगर मैं बोलूं तो मेघालय में देयर आई कैन नॉट चूज वन. सीरियसली मेघालय में बहुत जगह हैं जहां पे आप लोग जा सकते हो, बट फिर भी इफ आई हैव टू चूज वन आई वुड चूज डाउकी. डाउकी इज बेसिकली बिल्कुल बांग्लादेश एंड इंडिया बॉर्डर के साथ, बांग्लादेश एंड इंडिया बॉर्डर बिल्कुल सामने सामने है. एंड बांग्लादेश के जो लोग हैं वहाँ पे अचार बेचते रहते हैं. एंड देयर इज अ स्मॉल आइलैंड वेयर आई हैड स्टेड नॉट विद बेला बट विद अ फ्रेंड. सो वहाँ पे 7 दिन मैं एक आइलैंड पे कैंप साइट पे रुका था, एंड आई started learning lot of things about the local tribes there, how when you travel with a guide and when you travel with a local as a friend, these are two separate things. जब आप एक गाइड के साथ घूमोगे तो वो खाली एक जगह दिखाएगा जो, और उनको उस हिसाब से पैसा मिलता है. बट इफ यू ट्रेवल विथ अ लोकल, जो फ्रेंड बन के अगर ट्रेवल करते हो, तो वो ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस देते हैं जो आई थिंक अ गाइड कैन नॉट गिव. सो यस, डाउकी इज वन ऑफ द प्लेसेस इन मेघालय. 3 जगह मैंने आपको बता दिया, बट ओवरऑल नॉर्थ ईस्ट में टूरिज्म अभी काफी ज्यादा स्पाइक किया है, बहुत ज्यादा लोग जाने लगे हैं, एंड आई थिंक ओवर द इयर्स और भी बढ़ेगी, बिकॉज Northeast is Northeast. Like I
No, and there's just so much to explore. Even of all the states that you've named, I've only been to Meghalaya. And as you were listing out all the other regions and all the things to do, and it really is so safe, even for female travelers. I do want to highlight it is the safest. It is really, really just a joy to be among people there because of, as you said earlier, the food, but also the energy of the people around you. It has been so lovely, Chow. We've run out of time, but it has been so lovely. Thank you for bringing Bella, but also thank you for telling us about your own journey.
I'm a little bummed that Chow hasn't mentioned Spiti Valley, which is a personal favorite. How can you not mention Spiti Valley? Because everybody goes to Ladakh, nobody remembers Spiti Valley, which is such an adventure. Because you can't really go there unless you have
no.
like
Spiti Valley, Spiti Valley it's not that you cannot go there. There is just one place that is totally off-road. That is from, I think, if you come via Manali till Losar is a place around 80 kilometers that is off-road. Otherwise, the entire Road condition is good.
So
It's
can I
just that
just share, and I'm sure Chow will have his own stories because he's a biker. There are these
Right.
places in Spiti Valley called the Pagla Nalas. What happens
Yeah.
there is that it's just bulldozers. It's like just like big boulders basically,
Right.
and there's no road. So it's quite a challenge to go there, and the later you go in the day, the more is the flow of the water. So traveling, just crossing that is like an experience, and going there in different seasons offers also different kind of experiences. Like going in the winter, the key monastery is completely, snow covered. Going other time, it's a desert. So it's quite fascinating. I'm sure Chow will have his own experiences from there as well.
See, when it comes to water passes, be it in any of the mountainous areas like in Ladakh or be it in Spiti Valley, the footage that you have seen is from Arunachal Pradesh. Basically, that was, like I said, when I went to Dong Valley and I went during monsoon. So it was during that time when we had to cross a crazy nala. That is like, as you can see, there was a Falkland. A Falkland is JCB kind of a thing. Who was it was. स्टॉपिंग द फ्लो द स्ट्रीम से जो पानी आ रहा था वो फ्लो को रोक रहा था, फिर हम लोग को क्रॉस करने के लिए दिया था. तो आप लोगों ने यू जस्ट सॉ अ क्लिप जहां पे हम लोगों को पास करते हुए देखा. एक्चुअली द रीजन व्हाई वी वर देयर इज हम लोग एक दिन पहले से स्टक थे वहां पे, बिकॉज हम लोग शाम को पहुंचे थे और जो फोकलेन था वो चला गया था. तो वहां पे हमने एक लोकल घर ढूंढा, वहां पे रहे. There was a lady who helped us, surviving the night. And फिर अगले दिन ये resume हुआ था कि बाइक्स को लेके जाएंगे. And फिर Bella was at the back of the seat. I cannot let her, pass. पानी का flow इतना ज्यादा था. I cannot let her, go off the ledge because वो नीचे चले जाएगी. And आपने साइड का नहीं देखा था. It was totally खाई जैसा था. तो she would totally go down. So it was in Arunachal Pradesh.
And this is a regular feature. This happens almost on a daily basis there, where you have to track the water flow early, otherwise you get stuck, which is but this is just the adventure that Spiti Valley actually throws at you, right?
Spiti Valley, but also it's sorry, go ahead, Chow, go ahead, please.
Mostly during the monsoons or when the snow-capped mountains, जब धूप ज़्यादा निकलता है तो obviously
the water flow is higher.
The snow melts.
So it's like that.
Yeah. But Chow, thank you for joining us. Thank you for telling us. It's so lovely to just sit here early in the morning and talk.
I'm reliving my holiday.
I was going to say
Chow and this episode really. So,
but thank you, Chow. Thank you to Bella, who has now I think sneaked away, left the camera, maybe left the room. But thank you for joining us, Chow, and good luck for all of the adventures that lie ahead for you.
Thank you so much for having me in your show. And I would say one last thing, please come to Northeast and explore the opportunity. And it's totally safe, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Chow.
Lovely. Thanks, Chow. Bye-bye.
All right, let's move on from this. But it's hard to move on from this one. I mean,
I want to just be left behind. But it's a good time to take a break and perhaps recount all the other times and talk about all the other stories behind the cameras. But why don't you guys take a little break? On the other side, we'll come back with a person of interest. And this one is got to do with what exactly meditation, a particular form of meditation, is doing to your brain. We all knew it is great for you, it's great for your body, but can it actually reverse your brain age? More details in a minute from now.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Alipurdwar in West Bengal, Minister Udayan Guha has sparked a political firestorm with a controversial remark about Operation Sindoor. Udayan Guha, the Minister of North Bengal Development and a key Mamata Banerjee ally, has said that Operation Sindoor is being sold as a business. Someone who used to sell hot tea is now selling hot sindoor. The BJP has strongly condemned Guha's remarks, calling them an insult to the martyrs of the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam and a disrespect to India's armed forces. The party demanded Mamata Banerjee take immediate action and remove Guha from her cabinet, citing concerns over national security in the strategically sensitive North Bengal region. Listen in.
কেউ কেউ আগে হয়তো চায়ের ব্যবসা করতেন, এখন তারা কেউ কেউ হয়তো সিঁদুরের ব্যবসা করছেন। আগে গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন গরম সিঁদুর তাদের রক্তের মধ্যে দিয়ে বয়ে যাচ্ছে। সেই সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার জন্য একেবারে উত্তরবঙ্গের আলিপুরদুয়ার পর্যন্ত ছুটে আসছেন। কিন্তু আমার বক্তব্যটা হচ্ছে যে এইভাবে মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবেন না। মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে, ধর্মীয় বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে মানুষে মানুষে বিভাজন তৈরি করবার চেষ্টা করবেন না। গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন তিনি গরম সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার চেষ্টা করছেন। আমরা ওই ধরনের ব্যবসা করার জন্য এটা করি না। আমাদের কথা হচ্ছে সাম্প্রদায়িক সম্প্রীতিকে রক্ষা করতে হবে, মানুষকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হবে। যারা মারা গেছেন তাদের মধ্যে তো আদিল শেখ ছিল, তারপরে ওই ঝন্টু শেখ ছিল, সবার কথাই তো ভাবতে হবে।
Kamalika Sen Gupta joins me with more perspective on the broadcast. Kamalika, just ahead of Prime Minister's visit to Bengal, how will Guha's remarks be perceived? Also, this when the TMC had largely stayed united with India as far as our armed forces are concerned.
This is a very responsible comment as stated by the BJP. BJP is going to take this issue up, that's very sure. And this is a place which is absolutely in the border. It's Cooch Behar is absolutely in the bordering area of Bangladesh. And tomorrow the Prime Minister is supposed to come. Here, the Udayan Guha, we have spoken to Udayan Guha, and though he does not want to comment right now on this, but he accepted what he said. He has said that the BJP, the Prime Minister Modi, is trying to take political advantage of it and trying to sell it. Now, this type of comment is absolutely uncalled for, as stated by BJP, when the entire their party is supporting the cause, and also none other than their National General Secretary is been travelling and telling people about what has happened and taking the obviously presenting the India facts. There is a demand of a parliamentary session. That's the party stand, that there should be a parliamentary session, and they should come up that, you know, why this happened, and other details should come up in the parliament. That is the demand that Mamata Banerjee has also been placed. But this type of comments, that is something which is uncalled for. Till now there has been no official reaction of Trinamool Congress, but then whether Trinamool Congress does something, anything, or cautions him or not, that is to be seen. Definitely this is one issue which will be picked up during the election also, because Bengal election is year after. But the thing is that at present situation, this type of comments are uncalled for. That's what experts are saying, and that too from a place which is absolutely located in the border, and when none other than the Prime Minister is coming tomorrow.
Many thanks to you, Kamalika, for bringing us all those inputs. And as Kamalika was highlighting that the BJP has already criticized Guha's comments, let's listen in to how Shahzad Poonawala of the BJP has reacted.
On one hand, TMC says that it is with the country, it is with the armed forces, it is the one which is supporting Operation Sindoor. But on the other hand, its tall leader Udayan Guha, who's a serial offender, with the comments he's made on women, on doctors who are protesting during the Arjikar case, says that Operation Sindoor is being sold. Sindoor is being sold as a business. He also makes comments on the humble background of Prime Minister, who was a chaiwala. This shows not just the elitist mindset of the TMC, it also shows the mindset to attack the Sena's manobal. And this is not a sanyog, it is not a prayog, it is sahyog to Pakistan.
Welcome back. Let's move now to something incredibly fascinating. We're all familiar with the idea that meditation can reduce your stress, it can improve your focus, and maybe it can even help you sleep better. But a new study from affiliates of the Harvard Medical School and the Massachusetts General Hospital suggests it might do something even more profound. It could actually reverse the brain's biological age.
So the study looked at long-term practitioners of the Samaya Sadhana and advanced meditation techniques as well, developed by Sadhguru being one of them. Now, researchers also found that these meditators had brains that appeared on an average nearly 6 years younger than their actual age based on the objective EEG measurement. Now, what is EEG? You must have seen these little notes that are attached to your brain. It's non-invasive, but it tracks your brain activity. So they used that technique, and it was taken during their sleep. And that said that their brain was actually younger. In some cases, the difference exceeded in a full decade. So that's a reasonable difference.
Now, it's a striking finding, and importantly, it comes not from anecdote or belief, but from hard data. How do you measure brain age, though? Why might meditation play a role in slowing it down? And for those of us who don't meditate for hours a day, is there still something to be gained from this study?
So we are unpacking the science, the accessibility and the everyday relevance of the practice that, as the study suggests, may be doing far more than just calming your mind. So to do that with us, we are joined this morning by Dr. Bala. Dr. Bala Subramaniam, senior author of the study and Harvard affiliated, to help us understand what this really means. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here with us, Dr. Bala. My first question really is, we looked at the study and it goes on to say that people who have practiced meditation in the long term, not just somebody who sort of has started it recently, but in the long term, it leads to brain functioning in a different way altogether. Could you shed some light on what this long term really means and how exactly is this proving to sort of change your brain sort of development?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me on the show. It's very important to understand what long-term is in this particular context. So people who have been doing these practices in preparation for Sadhguru's Samyama meditation. So they have to go through a rigorous set of interviews and then 60 days of practices for almost 4 hours a day. And they have been slowly developing towards this particular aspect and taking part in this 8-day intensive retreat. And the one that we did was after the 8-day retreat, when they come back for refresher course, if you will, right? So for like a 4-day retreat and refresh themselves. So they have been practicing, at least in our study, on an average, almost 5,000 hours of meditation. That roughly translates to 5 years of doing meditative practices, at least 30 minutes minimum to, let's say, 2 hours a day, to bring to that level of taking part of this intense program.
I see.
Okay.
I see.
Doctor, can we now expand this question a little bit and ask you that for people like you and me, well, not you, but people like me and other people like me who may not be regular meditators, what are the takeaways? So if one wants to make a start, if they want to see this kind of difference in their lives, what is the minimum that one can do? Could it be, half an hour every day, maybe 15 minutes, 10 minutes every day? Walk us through the variations here that one can do in their own lives to see some impact, if not such a huge impact.
Yeah, totally. So, while we talked about in another piece where we just say that Harvard study has shown from another group that any meditation for almost 20 to 30 minutes a day for, let's say, 6 months or so, will start showing structural changes. That is increased cortical thickness in the brain. That is one. We and others have shown that with intense meditation practices, there is also enhanced connectivity, which means that you can make your brain work for you, and it's not simply a monkey brain. On top of that, you can also get, with 15-minute practices that people do, what is known as Sadhguru's Shunya meditation, or a conscious undoing process, they seem to have better integration of the brain that happens with 6 hours of sleep. You can get that with 15 minutes of meditation. So it depends not just on the duration, but also the quality of the meditation that you do in order to see these benefits. In another study, in a collaboration with N18L Bangalore, we have seen that the meditation signatures for within the brain using EEG, the electroencephalography, starts appearing at 7 minutes and it peaks at almost 14 minutes or 15 minutes. So even if you start your day with 7 minutes of meditation, such as, there is a free meditation that has been introduced recently, just absolutely free, no strings attached. And that is called the Miracle of Mind. You should probably start doing it today. You can start seeing changes within 2 months, especially emotional regulation aspects. And in a year or so, you'll start seeing the cortical thickness variations and the functional changes such as the cognitive resilience starts appearing somewhere between 2 to 3 years. At least with the current studies that we have done, the brain age reversal, almost 6 years younger, is currently seen with somebody who's been doing this for almost 5 to 6 years or so.
Okay.
Sure. So if I am to understand this correctly, that intense meditation leads to better results, but even if you're doing little meditation every day, that also has long-lasting effects is what you're saying. But Dr. Bala, when you talk about meditation, is this a different form? Or this is just because everybody has a different style,
Definition.
Somebody, some people chant, others do sound therapy. There are different forms that really come in. Are all of them giving you the same results, or is there a particular kind?
At least the type of research that we have done, this is focused on Sadhguru's meditation only so far. But there are other aspects, such as the increased brain thickness that I just mentioned was seen in mindfulness-based stress reduction used commonly in the US. For us in science, we describe meditation as a family of self-regulation practices that focuses on training attention and awareness. That is our way of calling meditation. And as you know, there are different schools that give meditation, and there are different forms of meditation. It could be dana, dhyana, dharana, and so on and so forth. But the work that we have done in our labs, in collaboration with MGH, is based on the wide set of practices that Sadhguru has to offer, and also the depth that he goes into.
So, Doctor, can we ask you another question? There's a word we're actually showing our audiences on the bottom of the screen. One of the many is the word enlightenment. The other concept that people talk a lot about when it comes to meditation is consciousness. I want to ask you, since what you do is grounded in science, how does science define either of these two terms?
Yeah, consciousness is something that we are grappling with, right? Especially the Western world thinks of consciousness as something that comes out of brain. The Eastern concepts is consciousness is the fundamental fabric. And there are unanswered questions if you follow the Western traditions of defining consciousness. How do you explain, near-death experiences? How do you explain extrasensory perceptions? How do you explain recording of EEG activity even after someone is medically declared as dead? These are not answered by the Western concepts. Whereas with the Eastern traditions, it's very simply, you can fit that in. If you think of consciousness as a fundamental fabric or the larger consciousness, whereas the individuals, as human beings, we are privileged to have the smaller aspect of that and experience it in our daily lives. So I think it neatly fits into these larger domains, and we can answer all these unanswered questions. So for us, we have evolved, at least in our research.
Is enlightenment also undefined?
Totally. In the science, we have no idea what.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Talking
in science, we don't know what that is. Yeah.
Sorry, I think there's a bit of a lag there. But when you say science, I want to sort of talk to you a little bit more about that. How did you actually figure out that the brain age was sort of going in the reverse? How were these markers picked up, and what were the immediate impacts that you did see in people who underwent this test?
Right. So it starts with my own journey. For almost 7 years or so, I never really talked about anything. And what I was seeing in myself, when I started talking to several people who meditate, I do follow Sadhguru's traditions of meditation. I've seen profound changes in my own self. And that's what led me to exploring this in the scientific way and see, is there any scientific backing to it? And at least the way we know science as over the tools that we have. I don't think we have all the tools in science to explore the depth and the width of what meditation could offer. And there are several people that I talk to who also report becoming very active. For example, let's say that 10, 15 years ago, I was only active for 8 to 10 hours a day. And as the day goes on, my ability to focus and have memory and also have cognitive flexibility is not that good. And that's why people start taking coffee in the evenings. Coffee is not good at all, especially in the evenings, because it only masks your fatigue. It doesn't take away the fatigue molecule, but I think meditation can take away the fatigue molecules that are accumulating in your brain. And when we start talking to people, they say that they're just effortlessly increasing their activity throughout the day and in a very efficient manner. And we wanted to see what is it that they have, what is it that energy that goes up in these meditators that makes them do this effortless increase in activities. You can talk to anyone, probably from any other proper schools of yoga, who will tell you that, Buddhist traditions as well, that their ability to focus and attend and have the cognitive flexibility has just gone up tremendously. That's what led us to do this series of work. And I'm pretty sure that we would keep doing this type of work and show that there is enough backing to this type of traditions, especially coming from the East and what consciousness is in their definitions.
Sure.
Dr. Bala, it has been wonderful to have you on the show today. Thank you for pondering some of life's deeper questions with us just for a few moments right here on the show. Okay, we're going to take you, our audiences, now to something entirely different. Let's shift focus now to the world of auto, where you can discover what sets the Volkswagen Tiguan R line apart.
From its bold designed elements and spacious interior to its powerful 2.0 TSI Evo engine and the advanced tech features as well, there's always an overdrive review that we bring, this one by Kranti Sambhav.
Hi everyone, I'm Kranti Sambhav. Welcome to Overdrive. Volkswagen has just launched this third generation of Tiguan in R-Line version in the Indian market at an ex-showroom price of rupees 49 lakhs. So what all do we get in this, and what kind of space and features does this car offer? Let's take a look at that. So first thing first, the face. Obviously typical Volkswagen face, but in a more muscular avatar and broader. So again, we have seen connected LED strips. This gets as well, and then you have the R-Line badging, blacked out front grille, lots of chrome, and the lip is pretty broad. So overall face looks very imposing and SUV-like, but when you look at the size and dimension, so it has nice creases on the hood as well. Just like the face, the sides also look pretty muscular but compact. So they look muscular but not bulky, the way most of the Volkswagen cars are designed. This length is just above 4.5 meters, and the height is 1056 mm. So I'm around 6'3", so you can understand, you can see the context here. What kind of height are we looking at in this Tiguan R-Line? And now take a look at the rear, where we're seeing this connected tail lamp treatment again at the rear. But yeah, this is like all-wheel drive, so 4Motion and Tiguan badging over here. Again, a little bit of chrome at the bottom and spoiler. So this Tiguan R-Line is fitted with 2-liter petrol TSI engine, and this produces around 204 PS of power and 320 Newton meters of peak torque. And this is mated to a 7-speed DSG transmission. Now the driver's seat of this Tiguan R-Line, where overall feel is pretty premium, I would say. Look at this window panel or doors or armrest. Overall feel is soft leather, premium. Little bit of plasticky finish at the bottom, but overall I would say it's compact, sporty and premium. Yeah, this dash material as well. And you have this blue highlights on the dash stitched nicely. You can see the similar treatment on the seats as well. You have R-Line badging mentioned over there on the seats. R-Line is mentioned on the seats, and then you have it on the dash as well. And there's one R-Line on the steering wheel. So this feels nice, premium and sporty, nice to hold, and it gets a pedal shifter as well. So this battery is almost drained out, I guess, but this screen is huge. The size is huge, and you can see these sliding buttons for the airflow and temperature control. So minimalistic kind of feel. You don't get too many physical buttons on this. Most of the controls on the screen. Then you have drive mode selector, engine start stop button over here, and then there's one more thing. Yeah, so you see this slot, you get 2 wireless charging pads over here, and this is angled in such a manner where the phones won't slide off. And then this armrest which has lots of space underneath. Small cup holder, I would say, or can holders. Then 12-volt power point, and then you have some more space over here. Seating feels nice and cozy and comfy. Now, a couple of standout features in this Tiguan R-Line. One obviously has to be this big screen. You don't see this kind of or this kind of size in common Indian cars. So this is pretty big and very vibrant. Nice design, very bright and vibrant. The overall feel is also very catchy, I would say. And lots of controls. Obviously, this comes with 3-zone climate control, and you have most of the controls in the screen. Okay, so you have sliding buttons for temperature and audio. So most of the controls and switches are top-notch. Feel is premium, but this seat is manual. So this is not a powered seat which you get in this Tiguan R-Line. And yeah, so you can use this one to help with the thigh support, and this is what you get in this Tiguan R-Line first row. Let's take a look at the second row. So overall feel is sporty and maybe dark, but biggest feature for the second row passenger would be this huge sunroof in this Tiguan R-Line. The headroom for a passenger like me who is 190 centimeters, it's not that great, but I guess for common Indian passengers or common average Indian height passengers, I think this is spacious, comfortable, knee room is adequate, foot movement, okay. Then you have a central tunnel here. And as I mentioned, this gets a 3-zone climate control, so that's a bonus for passengers sitting in this row. And this robust, solid armrest. You get adjustable headrest for all 3 passengers. And what about the luggage space? Let's take a look. That's more than enough, I guess, for 5 passengers. Weekend trip. And then you have lots of space over here as well. So there's a smaller tire in this, but you get lots of space.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Alipurdwar in West Bengal, Minister Udayan Guha has sparked a political firestorm with a controversial remark about Operation Sindoor. Udayan Guha, the Minister of North Bengal Development and a key Mamata Banerjee ally, has said that Operation Sindoor is being sold as a business. Someone who used to sell hot tea is now selling hot sindoor. The BJP has strongly condemned Guha's remarks, calling them an insult to the martyrs of the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam and a disrespect to India's armed forces. The party demanded Mamata Banerjee take immediate action and remove Guha from her cabinet, citing concerns over national security in the strategically sensitive North Bengal region. Listen in.
কেউ কেউ আগে হয়তো চায়ের ব্যবসা করতেন, এখন তারা কেউ কেউ হয়তো সিঁদুরের ব্যবসা করছেন। আগে গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন গরম সিঁদুর তাদের রক্তের মধ্যে দিয়ে বয়ে যাচ্ছে। সেই সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার জন্য একেবারে উত্তরবঙ্গের আলিপুরদুয়ার পর্যন্ত ছুটে আসছেন। কিন্তু আমার বক্তব্যটা হচ্ছে যে এইভাবে মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবেন না। মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে, ধর্মীয় বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে মানুষে মানুষে বিভাজন তৈরি করবার চেষ্টা করবেন না। গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন তিনি গরম সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার চেষ্টা করছেন। আমরা ওই ধরনের ব্যবসা করার জন্য এটা করি না। আমাদের কথা হচ্ছে সাম্প্রদায়িক সম্প্রীতিকে রক্ষা করতে হবে, মানুষকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হবে। যারা মারা গেছেন তাদের মধ্যে তো আদিল শেখ ছিল, তারপরে ওই ঝন্টু শেখ ছিল, সবার কথাই তো ভাবতে হবে।
Kamalika Sen Gupta joins me with more perspective on the broadcast. Kamalika, just ahead of Prime Minister's visit to Bengal, how will Guha's remarks be perceived? Also, this when the TMC had largely stayed united with India as far as our armed forces are concerned.
This is a very responsible comment as stated by the BJP. BJP is going to take this issue up, that's very sure. And this is a place which is absolutely in the border. It's Coach Bihar is absolutely in the bordering area of Bangladesh. And tomorrow the Prime Minister is supposed to come. Here, the Udayan Guha, we have spoken to Udayan Guha, and though he does not want to comment right now on this, but he accepted what he said. He has said that the BJP, the Prime Minister Modi, is trying to take political advantage of it and trying to sell it. Now, this type of comment is absolutely uncalled for, as stated by BJP, when the entire their party is supporting the cause, and also none other than their National General Secretary is been travelling and telling people about what has happened and taking the obviously presenting the India facts. There is a demand of a parliamentary session. That's the party stand, that there should be a parliamentary session and they should come up that, you know, why this happened and other details should come up in the parliament. That is the demand that Mamata Banerjee has also been placed. But this type of comments, that is something which is uncalled for. Till now there has been no official reaction of Trinamool Congress, but then whether Trinamool Congress does something, anything, or cautions him or not, that is to be seen. Definitely this is one issue which will be picked up during the election also, because Bengal election is year after. But the thing is that at present situation, this type of comments are uncalled for. That's what experts are saying, and that too from a place which is absolutely.
Welcome back to the Breakfast Club. We're at the end of our show, but we're not yet done. What we're sharing with you next is the video that we hope gives you a smile through the rest of your day. Take a look. This is Brazilian nun Marisol Cassiano, and she took viewers by surprise when she began beatboxing during a Catholic television show. Cassiano was accompanied by Sister Marissa Paula de Neves, who swiftly adjusted her dance routine to match the changing beat.
Now, there you go.
Rapaz, que é isso? Gente, é show de talentos aqui. Vocação.
All right, we leave you with that number and hope your day is as cool as these nuns had it. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Rapaz, que é isso? Gente, é show de talentos aqui. Vocação.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Alipurduar in West Bengal, Minister Udayan Guha has sparked a political firestorm with a controversial remark about Operation Sindoor. Udayan Guha, the Minister of North Bengal Development and a key Mamata Banerjee ally, has said that Operation Sindoor is being sold as a business. Someone who used to sell hot tea is now selling hot sindoor. The BJP has strongly condemned Guha's remarks, calling them an insult to the martyrs of the recent terrorist attack in Pahalgam and a disrespect to India's armed forces. The party demanded Mamata Banerjee take immediate action and remove Guha from her cabinet, citing concerns over national security in the strategically sensitive North Bengal region. Listen in.
কেউ কেউ আগে হয়তো চায়ের ব্যবসা করতেন, এখন তারা কেউ কেউ হয়তো সিঁদুরের ব্যবসা করছেন। আগে গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন গরম সিঁদুর তাদের রক্তের মধ্যে দিয়ে বয়ে যাচ্ছে। সেই সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার জন্য একেবারে উত্তরবঙ্গের আলিপুরদুয়ার পর্যন্ত ছুটে আসছেন। কিন্তু আমার বক্তব্যটা হচ্ছে যে এইভাবে মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করবেন না। মানুষের মধ্যে বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে, ধর্মীয় বিষ ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে মানুষে মানুষে বিভাজন তৈরি করবার চেষ্টা করবেন না।
গরম চা বিক্রি করতেন, এখন তিনি গরম সিঁদুর বিক্রি করবার চেষ্টা করছেন। আমরা ওই ধরনের ব্যবসা করার জন্য এটা করি না। আমাদের কথা হচ্ছে সাম্প্রদায়িক সম্প্রীতিকে রক্ষা করতে হবে, মানুষকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হবে। যারা মারা গেছেন তাদের মধ্যে তো আদিল শেখ ছিল, তারপরে ওই ঝন্টু শেখ ছিল, সবার কথাই তো ভাবতে হবে।
Kamalika Sen Gupta joins me with more perspective on the broadcast. Kamalika, just ahead of Prime Minister's visit to Bengal, how will Guha's remarks be perceived? Also, this when the TMC had largely stayed united with India as far as our armed forces are concerned.
This is a very responsible comment as stated by the BJP. BJP is going to take this issue up, that's very sure. And this is a place which is absolutely in the border. It's Cooch Behar is absolutely in the bordering area of Bangladesh. And tomorrow the Prime Minister is supposed to come. Here, the Udayan Guha, we have spoken to Udayan Guha, and though he does not want to comment right now on this, but he accepted what he said. He has said that the BJP, the Prime Minister Modi, is trying to take political advantage of it and trying to sell it. Now, this type of comment is absolutely uncalled for, as stated by BJP, when the entire their party is supporting the cause, and also none other than their National General Secretary is been travelling and telling people about what has happened and taking the obviously presenting the India facts. There is a demand of a parliamentary session. That's the party stand, that there should be a parliamentary session, and they should come up that, you know, why this happened, and other details should come up in the parliament. That is the demand that Mamata Banerjee has also been placed. But this type of comments, that is something which is uncalled for. Till now there has been no official reaction of Trinamool Congress, but then whether Trinamool Congress does something, anything, or cautions him or not, that is to be seen. Definitely this is one issue which will be picked up during the election also, because Bengal election is year after. But the thing is that at present situation, this type of comments are uncalled for. That's what experts are saying, and that too from a place which is absolutely located in the border, and when none other than the Prime Minister is coming tomorrow.
Many thanks to you, Kamalika, for bringing us all those inputs. And as Kamalika was highlighting that the BJP has already criticized Guha's comments, let's listen in to how Shahzad Poonawalla of the BJP has reacted.
On one hand, TMC says that it is with the country, it is with the armed forces, it is the one which is supporting Operation.
Good morning and a warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha Atul. Let's begin with our top focus story today, which concerns the Prime Minister as he is all set to visit Sikkim, West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Sikkim, where he will participate in the Sikkim at 50 at around 11 this morning. He will also lay the foundation stone and inaugurate multiple development projects in Sikkim and address the gathering on the occasion. Later, Prime Minister will also be visiting the state of West Bengal, where he will also be laying the foundation stone of city gas distribution project in Alipurdwar and Cooch Behar districts at around 2:15 p.m. And further, the Prime Minister will then visit Bihar and inaugurate the new terminal building of the Patna airport. This will be in the evening at around 5:45 p.m. Remember, it was in Bihar's Madhubani on April 24th, right after the Pahalgam terror attack on the 22nd of April, that the Prime Minister cutting short his trip abroad had come back to the country, gone to Bihar, and he had made that first vow that terrorist headquarters in Pakistan will be decimated, they will be reduced to rubble. The Prime Minister will now be returning to Bihar. He will have a packed 3-day tour starting today with multiple road shows and various public meetings where he could take forward his attack on Pakistan and terrorism.
प्रधानमंत्री जी का निरंतरता में बिहार आना प्रधानमंत्री जी का समर्पण बिहार और बिहारियों के प्रति दर्शाता है। बिहारियों की ये मांग थी कि यहाँ पर भी वर्ल्ड क्लास का एयरपोर्ट होना चाहिए, जिसका निर्माण मौजूदा प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हुआ है और विधानसभा में हम लोग एक नए लक्ष्य के साथ बिहार को एक विकसित राज्य बनाने की सोच के साथ उस लक्ष्य के साथ हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे। अगला 5 साल प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में डबल इंजन की सरकार जो बिहार को परिणामों के बाद मिलेगी वो अगले 5 साल बिहार के लिए गोल्डन एरा के तौर पे होंगे।
बिहार में डबल इंजन की सरकार है और डबल इंजन की सरकार है तो मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार और देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जिनका कहना है कि बिहार के विकास के बगैर पूर्वांचल का विकास नहीं और पूर्वांचल के विकास के बगैर देश का विकास नहीं। तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी आ रहे हैं